Blue Horizon Developments believe in making quality affordable and the art of development. Visit the sales office and show unit in Rawai to see the latest beachfront development.
Sawadee. We kick off this week's edition of This Week in Phuket with the news that Etihad Airways, the national airline of the UAE, is launching a non-stop daily service between Abu Dhabi and Phuket. It'll launch on the 26th of October, making Phuket the second destination in Thailand to be served by Etihad and the seventh in Southeast Asia. This month has seen a lot of boats sinking, but now that's just the feeling boat owners are getting after changes were announced for people docking on the island. A huge uproar by local boat owners prompted changes to new rules last week that apply to yacht anchoring in Phuket waters for any length of time. Before December last year, foreign registered yachts could be kept in Phuket for up to 6 months, but the Customs Department brought in a new rule that owners or skippers must re-register their boats every 2 months during the 6 months. Now that rule is being dropped for the time being, but watch this space as more changes to the rules could be on the way. A British man is lucky to be alive after crashing a jet ski into a speedboat while on holidays, forking out 200,000 baht to settle the bill. David Rimmer, a journalist from England, is back home warning other tourists looking to hire a jet ski here. He hired one on the 9th of February at Patong Beach when he quickly got into trouble, but he didn't make too much fuss here on the island. British Honorary Consul Martin Carpenter told the Phuket News he wasn't even aware of the incident until he was alerted about the story in the Hertfordshire Mercury, the paper Rimmer works for. The driver of the car that killed a Finnish pedestrian at around 1 a.m. on Saturday has been arrested and charged with careless driving causing death. The 24-year-old Thai man is believed to have cooperated with police. 25-year-old Robin Straka of Finland was crossing Kamala's main road when he was hit. He was on holiday with his girlfriend at the time and crossed the road to use the ATM at the local Tesco Lotus. He was taken to Patong Hospital with serious injuries but later died. Music lovers were saddened last week with the news that Eric Clapton cancelled his concert in Bangkok. His management blamed recent events in the city. Having recently played Tokyo, the next stop for Clapton on his Asia tour will be Singapore before he flies off to gigs in Dubai and Bahrain. The Bruno Mars concert is still set to take place on the 20th of March in the capital. Long-tail boat operators are blocking the path down to Freedom Beach. That means visitors can no longer access the beach on foot and are instead forced to take a longtail. The move is in a bid to stop people walking down to the largest beach on Phuket that's untouched by development. They want them to pay for the boat ride from Patong Beach, saying their livelihood is at stake. There are 2 paths down to the beach. One is closed with a sign warning tourists that it's private property. The other way to go down to the beach is still open, apart from the long-tail guards at the very bottom. The 5 leaders of the anti-government protesters who blocked general election voting in Phuket on February 2nd were released without bail last week after hearing charges against them. When the 5 from the Phuket Patriotic Rebels arrived at Talang Police Station, they were mobbed by around 300 cheering supporters. They were charged with acting without legitimate authority to hinder an election, which carries a penalty of up to 1 year in jail or a fine of up to 20,000 baht, or both. A popular DJ and American expat died last week following yet another motorbike crash on the last day of February. 42-year-old Josh Azell, originally from San Francisco, had moved recently to the island from Bangkok. Last year, he started working as a DJ at Surin Beach's Diamond Beach Club, where he stayed up until about a month ago. He first moved to Thailand in 2001 and had recently become a father. Chiang Mai University will this week start charging tourists to visit its campus after a series of bizarre incidents in recent weeks involving Chinese visitors who've swamped its grounds. Much like the success of the beach, which saw tourists flocking to where it was filmed in 2000 at Koh Phi Phi, the university has become a must-see destination for the Chinese after it was featured in the 2012 Chinese smash hit movie Lost in Thailand, which has grossed more than $200 million at the box office. A professor there says up to 500 Chinese visitors a day are turning up, roaming the campus and disrupting the running of the university. Construction around the Big Buddha has been suspended after complaints that it's causing erosion and may increase the risk of landslides. And Phuket's Vice Governor seemed to agree after visiting the area and ordered work to be stopped after people living on the Karon side pointed out that there was erosion of topsoil at the base of the site. 4 tourists and 3 Thais were injured when 2 tour minibuses crashed near the Tesco Lotus at Semkong intersection around 11:30 on Sunday night. Police say a minibus driving toward Patong was hit by another leased to Tes Tour after the driver lost control and crashed through the median barrier. A spokesperson for the company blamed a tyre blowout. Both drivers were stuck in their vehicles and had to be removed by rescue workers. Thanks to Ikapop Tongtab for the footage. Tommy Victor Soderlund from Sweden has been sentenced to life in prison for his part in the killing of Russian-born Swede Maxim Schantz in 2011. He died after his throat was cut by Soderlund's compatriot Johann Sebastian Lung in the Lantern apartment complex in Kogau following a dispute about a Pattaya boiler room scam that all 3 were involved in. Both had pleaded not guilty, telling the court that the killing was accidental. In January this year, Lung was sentenced to life in prison for murder. A Thai lawyer is in police custody after being arrested for being in possession of 145 million baht worth of counterfeit US dollar notes, some of which he was planning to exchange for Thai baht. On Saturday, the tourist police received a tip-off from staff of an exchange booth who said they'd received a call from a man saying he wanted to quietly exchange some money. Worried that they might be a target of a scam, the booth staff arranged to meet the 39-year-old man with the money. They then called the police, who sent undercover officers along. The suspect has admitted that more Thai people are involved in the scam, so further investigations are underway. And you can keep an eye out for some dodgy US dollar notes. And thanks to one of our viewers for sending in these pics of a tuk-tuk blockade in Patong last Monday night. Apparently a few parking tickets were issued to tuk-tuks at around 8:30 p.m. and a Patong-wide blockade followed. Police openly admit they couldn't do much about it. Tourists were stranded, dragging their bags across the town as transport was impossible, and it carried on until 5 a.m. the next day. That's all for this week in Phuket. We'll have more next week. To catch up on all the latest news from around the island, you can go to thephuketnews.com and make sure you like us on our Facebook page to get all the news as it happens, and you can share your thoughts there as well. We'll see you next time.